I haven't thought of myself as Uncle Troy in a long time because I think I'm much more of I think I'm a daddy.
Daddy.
Yeah.
Go daddy.
I'm not Daddy Troy, but I'm
sober daddy.
my followers.
So much for that.
Sober daddy. I get a lot of messages on
Yeah,
now. People
still?
they will reference. That's how I know they're listening to the
Sober.
podcast. They'll be like, I'll send my promo code and like, thanks, Sober Daddy.
That's so funny.
And I'm like, ka-ching, no problem, Mom. But I think a daddy is a mindset, you know?
Yeah.
And it's more on the front lines. I got a few Father's Day texts this year. So a friend of mine sent me a Father's Day text. I get one every year from this number I still don't have saved, and I don't know.
You've never been like, yo, who is this?
I have.
I hate getting texts from numbers I don't have saved because sometimes they're like really nice, and I'm just like, who the fuck are you?
I got to tell you this story. I got a Father's Day text from a friend of mine, and this is what changed my mindset. It was like, "Happy Father's Day. You're a daddy to us all," and I took that as a responsibility, as a pride thing.
And your identity forever
daddy
changed.
Yes, it did.
Like
I said, "I am uncle no longer. I shall take a more active step in the lives of my followers and fans." Hi, welcome to Bonding. This is your host, Troy Bond. This is called the intro.
Yeah.
As I was told, this podcast severely lacks structure, so I'm giving structure with an intro. And I am developing autism as I'm doing it somehow.
I think I'm getting it too.
Oh, who's that? It's my co-host, Tori Cole.
Oh.
Who just caught a little bit of my autism.
Welcome.
I
don't know if my brain works anymore.
After it's a fast eating thing, you can catch it.
How we doing?
I'm good.
Yeah?
I'm hot.
It's warm.
I hate New York City summers, and I hate New York City winters. Why do I live here? Because no matter how much I hate those seasons, I hate Connecticut so much more.
We're out here just trying to make slang of ourselves.
I guess those aren't the only two places you could live, but those are the only two places I know where to live.
Yeah, there's LA if you want to be something.
No.
That's what they say.
LA is where you go if you want to be something?
If you want to work, like you work as a barista and try and be an actress.
Yeah.
Or an actor.
Just spend all your time in and out. I've never been to LA. You've been to LA.
Yeah. I love LA for visiting.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's a lot of driving, and I don't have my license.
Right. That's crazy. You don't have your license.
Limits my options down to
I
where
want
I
you
could
to
live.
get you're like Cardi B. It's like why not have your license?
There are many things Cardi B and I have in common.
Yeah, what else?
We're both from the Bronx.
Okay. No, you're not.
That's true. We were both misunderstood in our field.
You think you're misunderstood?
Yeah.
In what way? In your field, I think everyone sees you as a comic.
Yeah.
I guess and you're an actor. Oh,
yeah.
what an issue that is.
Yeah, that's.
You just want to act, and you're up there just
I was so
monkeying on stage.
demeaning.
I just want to act.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Acting a fool.
There you go.
There is.
I'm sorry, that was mean.
No, it's okay. I'm just putting it on the list. The best part about having you co-host this podcast is I work
to humble you.
Yeah, well, not even that. Just straight up. There's humbling, and then there's
bullying,
shaming, and I get a lot of that. I get my healthy dose of shame.
Yeah.
Right before this pod and support. You're very supportive too.
Thank you.
But mostly shame, and that's good.
I just want the best for you.
Yeah, listen.
I think that's the duo you need to give someone for them to succeed.
You need to give them
support and then also humble them as much as possible.
Well, you are definitely doing that. Daddy's here, and we're going to have a good time. Speaking of people, one time I got this text from this dude, and like I didn't have his number saved, but he was really suicidal. Like, was really going through it.
Like you were like a suicide hotline?
He was like referring to me by name and like sent me these long texts about like how he was just sort of done and he felt like nobody cared about him anymore and his life was just breezing by.
And then you're like, who is this?
I was like, I can't be like, who is this? I have to just keep going. So I just kept going along and I was like being supportive, like, yeah, man, don't worry about it. You'll be fine. Just keep pushing. Da 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 da. Still to this day, I have no idea who that was, but I hope they're still alive. No, those texts actually kind of stopped that weekend, so maybe I didn't do a great job at helping him out, but I was there.
Oh my god.
For him or her. Yeah, I mean, I don't remember reading anything about any deaths. Well, that's not true, actually. Oh man.
Are you just realizing who this person was?
I think I might know who it was now. Anyway, I don't know. It was like a few months after, so I maybe bought him some time. But
wow, what a story to kick this off with.
I know it.
Let's just kick it off with the addiction, or where do you want to go now?
There's that structure we're needing. There's that structure.
We had a nice flow. I don't know if I just killed it, but I like
great.
The
no,
autism.
You could be a.
Sorry, I'm just being autistic.
Autism is one of those, because I have my bit about autism.
The Yelp story that you really beat to death for a while. What do you mean
beat to death? There's that good old Shane.
I'm kidding. That was a joke.
Yeah.
No, it was actually fun because you could feel your anger. It was really authentic.
Yeah, well, now it's a fun story to tell. I like to tell it on stage, just kind of see where the crowd. Where at first I used to tell it to see where the crowd was at, but now I can pretty much just tell it whenever, because I've spent enough time where my emotions were moved from it, and I can just sort of see the funny thing into it. But I also never want to come off as like I'm. My rule generally is try not to make fun of something that someone can't control.
But she was loud though. She asked for it.
Yeah, and I didn't. The whole point of the bit was I didn't believe she was autistic. For when this gets clipped and circulated on Twitter in 5 years.
I like there's you've been posting about this for a while, so everyone might be on board with this story.
Friend of mine who is autistic started working at one of the clubs, and he came up to me after I told that story last week, and he was like, "You have my autistic stamp of approval." Then he walked away without making eye contact.
That's
so
all
it was
you
great.
Need.
Yeah. Shout out to my boy Joe Caputo.
Shout out Joe.
And yeah. What were you going to ask me? Sorry. There's the structure.
Well, speaking of your social media, you posted a fun photo of you lighting your clothes on fire to light a cigarette.
Yeah.
And it was in honor of your 2 years sobriety from Coke.
Right.
Congrats.
Thank you. In fairness, that is something I think I would do even if I wasn't on Coke.
You did it yesterday. You're like, oh, this is a photo from yesterday.
It was, yeah.
I'm using it
nothing else to do.
Tell you
it's
that I am Coke free.
That was me right on 2nd Avenue.
That'd be beautiful.
The whole city's on fire.
Where were you? Who were you with? I want to know more about this photo.
I had a.
You get a lot of DMs on that photo. It's quite a fucking photo.
I did. I know.
You're
I know.
naked. It looks like you're naked because your
boxers. I was at a certain point. Yeah, there's an angle.
Briefs were nude.
Yeah, no, they were gray, which is weird that they blended in with my beige legs. But and I was gonna post another one, but you couldn't really see. That was the only one where the bulge was kind of hidden with the pants.
Oh, you didn't want to show off your giant penis to the world?
They've seen it.
You didn't want them to know?
This is a Christian comedy.
Is that what your demographic is?
Yeah. Are you kidding me? I'm a Rust Belt through and through. They love my opinions on Elvis and politics. The Hicks love Troy. But no, that picture, I quarantined with my roommates. And it was really great because I got to hang around with with my friends all the time, who were also huge Coke heads.
I was going to say, sounds like they were a good supportive group.
City of enablers, baby. They say you could look at your friend group and tell where you're going to be in 5 years.
Well, they say you're the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with.
Interesting.
You've heard that.
No, I never heard it put like that.
Yeah.
You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. I got to hang out with 2 more people, then I'll get to 5.
Yeah, you're good company with me. I think I'm a good influence.
Yeah, you are. You're a good influence.
Okay. I just made you say that. I'm like,
I know, and it wasn't convincing at all.
Say it.
Yeah. No, I went camping with these guys. We went up. Actually, we did a lot of blow the night before, and I woke up at 4 p.m. and they were gone, and I was like, oh, I really want to go camping still. So I rode my bike to Grand Central, take the train up. That photo was in Poughkeepsie.
Alone? You set it up on a timer and you lit a shirt on fire?
No, my friends took the picture for me. We got up there. I bought like a 26 pack of beer right before we went
What kind
up.
of beer? Natty Light?
Yeah.
Keystone?
Yeah. No, it was one of the two. It was
Something fucked up?
Yeah. And I put it on the back of my bike, but the cans kept falling off one by one. I was just like, every time it would fall, just can falls. Fuck! Can falls again. Fuck! It was like a...
Did you leave them or you kept collecting them?
I collected the first 3. And then after that, I was just like, that's it. I'm done. And so we get to the campsite, hanging out with the boys. It's like, this is all Irish dudes. There was a period in my life where all my friends were Irish guys, which was kind of cool. Felt like I was in a gang.
Irish
of
are
hardworking
fun.
construction
They're just fun
dudes.
people.
Great guys.
They say fucked up things.
They say
and they're
fucked up
fun.
things. The Irish have been oppressed and beaten and downtrodden, and
I like the Irish.
And they came over here to this country to fight. When they came over here, we sent them to fight the Mexicans down at the border, and then the Irish and Mexicans realized they have so much in common, and they became tight-knit groups of people, and now we got all these Irish.
Irish and Mexicans.
I forget what war, but it was one of the wars,
salt and pepper.
like in the 1900s, where the U.S. government, and because like all these Irish immigrants were coming over, but we didn't want them, and they were like, "All right, you could stay here if you go down there and fight the Mexicans," and they were like, "Bet," and they went down there, and they were like, "We like these guys."
Interesting. Look at that. You learn something new every day.
Not from me, because I'm missing like 40 details on that. But
I know. I'm like, I don't know if that's right.
It's right, but it's not
the full
accurate.
story. Okay.
Not the full story. That's what I should have said.
Back
anyway,
to you.
I'm with these dudes. We're having a great time. We take a bunch of mushrooms. One of these guys has like kind of bad. He's having a bad trip.
Okay.
And so I take that picture, the one of
who takes it? Your friend?
My friend. He's back in Ireland now, but he takes that picture of me.
Make sure you show everyone.
I'm apparently doing.
Look at Troy's Instagram if you need it.
Yeah, you'll find him. I'm doing a lot with the fire. I'm on coke, so I'm building the fire. I'm going into the woods to get firewood. I'm bringing it back. I'm hunting. I'm gathering. I'm chrising. I'm crossing. I'm flaming. I'm ashing. I'm all over the place. There's a fire pit. There's a lot going on. We're on this campsite. There's just like shitloads of acres of land. It's just like just so much land and cows and farm and shit, whatever. And then here we are building this little fire pit. And he took that picture of me when I don't even know how we lit the fire, because we didn't have a lighter.
You have a lighter? So you like the sticks rubbing together?
I think that's what they did.
No
and
way.
then
no, that's
I don't
impressive.
even know why I burned my clothes. Well, it's because I was on coke.
Well, you said you wanted to light your cigarette.
Yeah, I know, but like I don't even know if I had another set of clothes or if I borrowed a pair from one of the guys.
How long were you at this campsite for?
Well, we were supposed to be there for 3 days, but the dude who had a bad trip came out of the tent and thought that we were all making fun of him. And I was carrying a bunch of firewood, and he ran out of the tent, just sprinted toward me. And I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" There he is. And he just fucking tackles me down to the ground. And I'm like out of breath. Just knocked the breath out of me. I got a bad back. I wasn't ready to get... I thought he was coming over to hug me.
That's scary.
Tackles me. And then just starts wailing on me. And like I'm tripping. And I'm on coke. And I've had like 10 natural ices. I'm in my underwear. I'm not naked yet. I still have one more cigarette left.
Okay.
But like I didn't know what to do. And he's just on top of me wailing. And like guys, when they fight, they're really stupid. They punch you in the face. He like got like maybe 2 hits to the face on me, and then I just flipped him over, and I got him in this.
You're a fighter, so
you
knew what you were doing.
I didn't want to hurt him. He was my friend. I'm also like, I wouldn't consider myself a fighter, but I know how to fight.
Right.
My brother is a fighter.
I didn't mean to say like you're a fighter. I meant like you have the skill set within you.
Yes,
to fight.
I have a very particular set of skills.
Yes.
I have one skill.
You, William. That's good.
I will find you.
And I will kill you.
And I will tell a joke to get out of the situation.
There you go. That's much better.
I don't want to fight, but I will if I have to.
It's a great show, movie, whatever.
It's a great show. Taken.
Great show.
Yeah, and then anyway, I got him in a headlock. Then he somehow got me in a headlock, and then I could have really fucked him up, but I didn't want to, and I just clamped down and I bit him really hard on his side, like to the point where like there was blood, and I just spit it back out at him, and he was like, "You fucking bit me," and I'm like, "You fucking tackled me," and then
you bit him. That is so primal.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to. I didn't.
So primal.
If I hit him on the head, I was going to give him a concussion, and if I got him in the leg like I was trying to, I would have shattered his Achilles tendon. So I was thinking, where can I how can I get out of this, cause the most amount and least amount of damage at the same time? So I bit him in the love handle really hard. And he still has a dental mark of my imprints right there. I hope he fucking thinks of me every time he looks at it. He's a good dude, though. Now, he messaged me yesterday when I posted that picture, and he was like, hey, man, hope all is good. Times. Yeah. He was like, we all had a little bit of a doozy. And I was like, yeah, man.
I would love to see the bite mark.
Yeah.
You can ask him for it.
Yeah, let's just send it in. I'm not proud of any of that, though, by the way. I should preface that with. There's a lot I'm proud of.
No, I'm not proud of a lot of things I've done.
Yeah, I'm not proud of that. I don't want to glamorize
Speaking of the bite thing, when I would black out, I would bite people. It was like a weird thing.
What? You would just bite people?
Just like, I would be at bars and I would just like bite their I would just walk up to them like full blackout. Like fully not there.
Were you a snapping turtle? What was going on?
It was weird. It was a weird thing I would fall into. And it started in high school. Like one of my first blackouts, I just like bit someone. And then I did it for
Do you have iron deficiency?
15.
Maybe you were trying to get blood or something.
I don't know what it was. I never remembered it.
Have you ever been in a fight?
Someone? No.
Never been in a fight. That's
never
good.
Fought someone.
Why not?
Women don't fight physically. Me and my sister have gotten into it. One morning, I was looking for one of my favorite shirts. It was like a stupid shirt too. It was like a walk for Alzheimer's. Like, not that that's stupid, but it was like just a shitty shirt I got for free for like a 2K fucking walk. And I'm looking for it, and I'm like, oh, I know where it is. That bitch is wearing it. So I go into her room. She's dead asleep. I wake her up. And I'm like, that's my shirt. And she like comes to and wakes up, and she just gets up, and she's like 5'11", and she just slams me into a wall.
Jesus.
Just full on slams me. And she's like, I was sleeping. It's just a shirt. And then I like left. But like that was as physical. And I've bitten her actually as a kid. Maybe it's the biting thing's a weird thing I've done. Yeah, I used to scratch a lot too. She's a scar on her hand from me scratching.
That's how women fight. You guys scratch and you pull hair.
But my sister is the only person that I've gotten physical with. I think that's normal
reword
though.
That.
My sister is the only person that I've physically fought.
There
with.
we go. Yeah, I don't want anyone to think we're recording in Alabama.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good catch.
It's good not to. There's more to gain from not fighting than if you do fight.
Yeah.
My dad owned a karate school when I was growing up, and he was the only black business owner in town. And there were 2 times where I saw him talk out of a fight. I've never seen my dad get into a street fight. I've seen him in a lot of karate tournaments, but I've never seen him get into a street fight. There was one time when we were there was like this bar, pizza restaurant in my hometown. And me and my dad was at the bar, and I was sitting with one of his students at the table, or maybe with my mom or some woman. I don't really remember. I blacked out a lot of childhood, or repressed. I think that's the word, repressed. Anyway, I'm at the table doing the puzzle thing with the maze, and then I see my dad at the bar, and I just overheard someone. They looked at me and looked at my dad, and they just said, "Oh, he's the N-words kid," like hard R. Very. You heard it very, very, very vividly.
White?
Yeah, it'd be weird if they were black.
I just wanted to confirm.
Yeah, no, if they were black, it probably would have been with an A. But when my dad had kind of heard that, but he didn't say anything. And then they were getting ready to sort of get into it once they realized he was the one who owned the karate school. And whenever a bunch of dudes are drinking and they see a big black guy who runs a karate school, they want to get into it with him just to prove something, prove themselves, whatever.
How small their dick is.
Yeah. And I saw, I don't remember how, but I remember my dad talking his way out of that one. He also used to work as a security guard at an adult ed high school. And one time this dude came up to him. It was like this short Hispanic dude. I shouldn't even say he was Hispanic. He was like Hispanic, white. I couldn't really tell. He looked like 70s Alex Trebek. And he came up to my dad wielding a box cutter. And I was and my dad was he was like saying all this shit to my dad. And my dad takes his job very seriously. And he was trying to think of a way to deal with this guy, and also not do it in a way where he's going to probably lose his job, because he couldn't tell if this guy was a student. It was what? It was like one of those adult ed high schools. You know, there's a lot of different people coming through. And the guy had the box cutter up. And my dad said to him, "Wouldn't you rather be home fucking your girlfriend?" And the guy looked at my dad, looked at the box cutter, and looked back at my dad and went, yeah, and went home. And my dad was like, hit it once for me. Probably saved both his life and my dad's life that day.
Wow. Because,
I mean, you never know what's going to happen when you get into a situation like that. You both could end up in jail. You could get hurt. You could.
Well, they say, like, if someone's going to shoot you, like, don't reason with them. You know, they say that.
Do they?
Well, there's, like, the 3 things you do. It's, like, one is, like, run.
You go, wait, listen, boss. I got the money. Let me explain, please. Yeah, exactly. Please, boss.
Yeah, just
I ain't mean nothing by it. Ain't no nothing, ain't no how. You could do that.
Yeah. No matter what the scenario is, just go into an acting mode.
Give me all your money. Hold up, wait a second. Hold on. These square wheels are rolling. All your dogs ain't tied to the same tree here. Let's figure this out. There's another way. I can help you out. I know people. I got connections. You want to be in the papers? I know a guy at the Post.
I think they'd shoot you just to shut you up.
Yeah, they would. I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet. I'm surprised you haven't shot me yet.
No guns here.
That's I
no, but they say either the first you run, second is hide, third is reason. I think. I don't know. If the
first 2 don't work, first you run, then you hide, and then they pop out with the gun, and you're like, wait, hold on a second, boss, we can work this out.
Yeah.
This is all peanut butter, no jelly. Let's cut the crust off here before we pull something rash. You picking up what I'm putting down here? Again. Anytime I get held up with a gun, I turn into a neurotic paper salesman from the 50s.
You've never been held up with a gun, have you?
This is way to yes and. I've never been held up with a gun. I've never yet. There it is, right
maybe
there.
Knock on something. I don't know. Just like.
Yeah, whatever.
All right, that's
not yet. I've been in a couple of fights, but not recently.
That's good.
I would rage a couple of times in my early 20s. I would
fight.
Yeah, I had a lot of anger.
Yeah. What changed for you not to be so angry anymore?
Weed.
Yeah.
And meditation.
Do you meditate?
Meditation really is what.
Do you meditate every day?
Yeah, that's what got me off coke.
Right. I remember you have your really funny bit. I'm being nice.
Yeah.
Like, I do find it very funny.
It's great when someone compliments you and they have to point it out. You have a really funny bit. I'm being funny, asshole.
There's just been a theme today. Where
I know. I'm being defensive.
I'm very supportive, and that I love.
You are supportive once a week. It's great, and this
that you do when you say you're meditating in New York, and then you hear like the "suck my dick."
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
I haven't seen you do that one in a while.
I'm gonna do it tonight, so
good.
I can clip
I'd be like,
by the time they listen to it,
thanks for bringing it back.
Yeah,
put it between the.
He's doing the hits.
Greatest hits, ladies and gentlemen. No, I love that, but I wasn't sure if you really kept up with meditating.
No, I do. I when. At that time, I was doing it 3 times a day. Just not long, like 10 minutes.
I feel like whenever I try, I'm just kind of like...
Yeah, no, that's how it's a muscle that you have to keep exercising. And I don't...
You just sit there with nothing in your mind.
Sometimes I'll do a guided meditation with like Headspace.
Okay. Do you pay for Headspace or you do like free trials?
I stole that shit, man.
You use like 20 different emails?
I got Headspace on piratebay.com.
piratebay.com.
Yeah, it's a website you can steal shit. Yeah, it's like LimeWire, but for kids
apps?
Today.
For viruses?
Yeah, it's a great way to get viruses.
I was like, sounds like a great way to get a virus.
I'll do Headspace sometimes, but more recently I've been doing it to like Japanese flute music or like Mongolian throat music, something like that. Just
my YouTube suggested Japanese lo-fi. And I was gonna click it, but I didn't want to lose the other video that I wanted to.
That's good to study to, and to like do work on. I mean, I'm not like I read a lot, but I'm not sitting there with a book in my office being like, "Dear God, Niles, we found it, the Moby Dick, complete control of my research."
I just wanted to see how you're gonna answer.
I was holding in a burp the whole time I was doing that.
I've been holding in a bunch.
You could just let it go.
I know. I will
just blow away from the mic.
Towards you.
Well, there's 2 sides you could go to. I learned that from the Chocolate Rain guy. Remember him? Chocolate Rain. Say it once and you will go insane. Chocolate Rain. You never heard Chocolate Rain?
No.
Chocolate Rain. I'm just going to keep singing it till you figure it out.
This is a YouTube video I should
Yeah, it was like the first one with Tay Zonde.
Have you seen Cucumba?
Cucumba. Yeah. That's a good one.
Cucumba.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
I know that one.
Had nothing to do with Chocolate Rain.
Yeah, but it's one of those videos where you're like, why does everyone watch this? But you're like also kind of like, this is interesting, and I'm like really sucked in, and I'm like, cucumba.
Yeah.
No,
but I like it.
You know the video I'm talking about, though, right?
I didn't know one black person, but I know another one.
Did I tell you that? I think I've told you this before, where I used to be home alone a lot. Like once my parents got divorced, my mom worked a lot, and my dad moved out, and she'd be gone for like a week, and I was like 16 living alone at home in like a 2-story home. And I would have like this whole escape route, and I slept with my field hockey stick next to my bed and my car keys, and I would have this whole route where I would run out my window over the roof and then down a tree, and then I would always park my car on the street and not in the garage so that I could get away as fast as possible. But I always felt safe until it hit the hours from like 2 to 4, because anywhere before 2 it's still like kind of early, it's still like nighttime, and then 2 felt scary, and then 3 and 4 were like,
after 4
you're
that's
dying.
when rape happens.
Exactly. And then once if I woke up at 5, I'd be like, oh, it's the morning, like I made it.
It's too early to be attacked.
I survived.
Tell that to the World Trade Center.
Okay, way to make that so sad and dark.
I'm sorry, please continue to tell me your plan for a home invasion.
Anyways, I have a window, and I think I still have that when I live here now. I'm like, okay, like I'm fine until like hours like 2 to 4, like 2 to 5, it's like kind of sketch, but then once you're out of that, you're good. Like that's how I've always gotten through.
No, I mean, you'll get a ticket if you commit any crimes between the hours of 2 and 5. There's signs all over. It says
the parking tickets are so. I have 2 tickets right now from.
Yeah, I mean that's just par for the course. I would hate to be a meter maid.
So I got a ticket on last Tuesday because I came home from the club, and I thought I'll just park here overnight because it was like something all day long and then something at night, no standing, and I just was like, I don't get noon to midnight to 6 a.m.
Midnight to 6.
I was like
Friday through Thursday.
Yeah, Wednesday at 8, but
Wednesday,
not
8
on
p.m.
the
You gotta carry
third
the
month
2.
of the one.
No meat on Fridays.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
Exactly. So I park. Then the next morning I go get my car, and I'm like, oh my god, I had a $115 ticket, and I'm pretty upset. That hurts. But I'm reading who gave it to me, and her name was Ebony something, and I'm like, oh my god, a woman is walking around the streets of Lower East Side at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? I'm glad she's safe. I was actually like, this is a silver lining that a woman can have a job where she is forced to walk the streets at night and
not be a hooker
to tell the tale.
Yeah.
And so that I was like, you know what? I'll take this as a win because I feel safe now. It's $150 to feel safe.
I am okay with getting a ticket if it is a woman of color giving it to me in the workforce. You look shocked that I said woman of color. You think she was a white woman named Ebony?
No.
Let's get real.
I know.
Ebony. If a white woman came up to you, she's like, hi, my name's Ebony. I'd be like, no,
maybe it's
not.
Barnaby.
Barnaby? That's a name? That's an interesting name. Barnaby. That sounds like a character in like a Andy Dick TV, not Andy Dick. Andy, what's his name? Griffith. Barnaby.
Barnaby. E. But then it looks like Ebony, right? That looks like an Ebony?
Yeah.
Whatever. I think it's a woman.
Last name looks like Bond.
It's your long lost sister.
That's how I sign it.
Whatever. I think it's a woman, and I'm glad she's alive to do this. So.
Me too. You know what? It's inspiring to anybody out there listening. You can be a woman walking the streets, giving out parking tickets, no standing, no sitting, making money.
Making money.
I just would hate to be a meter
and
maid.
Not a sex worker.
Because you just, although you make
she
probably less
the
money than a sex worker.
Yeah, it's
true. I'd hate to just get yelled at all day by people.
Like, no way.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, sorry, process. Like, fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's no.
Yeah.
It's like, it's the only where you try to suck up to them, and then as soon as you learn it, I started writing the ticket. Fuck you and your children. I'm going to burn your house down and park in your garage.
You're beautiful. Oh, no. Suck my dick.
Beautiful fat pig of a wife. I hope she chokes on that seatbelt. Write that shit down. Put that. Sign that one. Yeah. Barnaby. Mm-hmm. It couldn't be a meter maid, especially in the city.
What I remind myself is that it's their job and they're just trying to make a living.
Yeah.
But it hurts.
They said that of the Nazis too.
When it stacks
they were just following orders.
It really hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, listen, this is a podcast about paying your debts to society, especially if a woman. Yeah. Don't even contest that ticket.
Well, I did it. Honestly, it took me like 10 minutes to be like, I was like reading the signs for like 10 minutes, being like, oh yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like, whatever, I'm gonna pay for this convenience, so I don't have to figure out this sign anymore.
Well, they say peace of mind is priceless, so.
You just filled with little fortune cookies today, aren't you?
I am.
That's great.
Yeah.
I had a director like that once who was just pissing me off. He never directed me, like gave me the direction I want. He'd be like,
you too?
Troy, we want to splash,
shamer?
not a puddle. One of them.
Okay, is this the recent?
I also realized I was being kind of a baby about being body shamed because
those were your own insecurities coming out.
Yeah, well, it's also like this is a business where everybody criticizes you. It's supposed to be this way. Yeah, it's like, there's.
Think about what you say to yourself. If anyone talked to me the way I talk to myself, I would have.
There's nothing they could say to me I haven't said 6 inches from the mirror.
Yeah, exactly.
And I just had to keep reminding myself of that. I just gotta learn to have fun with it. Flow.
I know sometimes I watch podcasts, I'm like, these guys are embarrassing themselves, and I'm like, what am I doing?
You are too. It's great. It's something to work toward.
Right? We're doing it. It's fun. We're having fun.
We're having a great time. I had a interesting thing happen a couple of days ago. I was hosting a show, and this person came up to me. I got their name and everything, and then like 5 minutes later, they were like, "I'm they them, by the way." I was like, "Cool." Didn't ask or misgender them.
Right.
Which was, I'm segueing into a new segment now. I thought you realized that.
I know, I did the math there. I'm like,
I figured when you went,
I heard something about this.
Which was, I don't mind the pronouns thing at all. I have no, I just didn't ask.
Right.
And I could feel, she was like, my pronouns are they, them. And I was like, I'm voting for Trump now. This is it. I'm done. I can't do this. When did we start telling people so much about ourselves? I understand the full irony of me saying that into a microphone on a podcast that I named after myself, but people can choose to listen to this. So
what if your response was, do they have a vagina?
Does they have a vagina? Do they have a vagina?
Do they have a dick?
I don't think that makes... I don't understand the gender and sex thing.
Are they a tree?
See, that's where the hacky stuff comes in, because those people are always like, I identify as a wolf. Identify as somebody who shuts the fuck up.
I identify as she... I won't say my joke.
She...
is hot.
Yeah, which is good. That's a fun one. I just don't... I feel like the people who do that sometimes add all these different things to them because they try to hide the fact that, or they think that it's going to make them somehow less white.
Oh.
Like
while running from our whiteness.
Yes. Yeah. It's it's white guilt manifesting into white anamorphs. Remember the book Anamorphs when we were kids? Like, yeah. I could see, like, they start off as a white person and then like a couple of panels later you see the fedora. And then after the fedora is the button-down long-sleeve shirt with the sleeves rolled up. And then comes
You're making me hate
body hair.
Stop.
If I'm the one who's making you do it, you haven't been listening. But all of that, I feel like, is a mask they put on to remind themselves that they're not white and to act like they don't have the white privilege. And I am coming from experience of, I used to think of like my racial identity that way, where like I think of myself as like, even though I'm mixed, I was around the black side of my family more when I was growing up, so I identify it as black. But I realized that was a wrong thing for me to go about it thinking, because I have so much privilege as a white passing dude.
I don't know, you're not that white.
It's so weird because I'm this black comic came up to me last night when I was telling a story about my dad, and I mentioned my dad like said something about black families, and she was like, that was bold of him to say. And I was like, yeah, well, my dad is black, my mom is white. And she like grabbed my hair, was like looking through my hair, and was like looking me up and down from my feetures. And
Who was
like,
this person?
This is a comic.
It's a lot.
Yeah, and I just like have to stand there and be like, it's so dumb to because like I don't want to be like Logic, where Logic, is just always talking about being black and white all the time, everything.
But you lean into it a lot.
I do, but
I mean, if you want your Netflix special to be half black Fridays, and then you want to be white chocolate, the wrapper.
Yeah, well, those are two separate issues.
There's a lot of.
I know, but I don't like to have it be the first thing that comes out of my mouth and to talk about it overtly, and I also don't like having to defend
who you
my
are.
ethnicity. Yeah, because I've always been too white for some black audiences and
same.
Yeah, well, that's just. I mean, I do better in front of black audiences, and I have more white
supportive.
people coming up to me. That's depends.
Depends, but I feel like a lot of times they're down to laugh.
They are, but they're not going to give it to you. They're not going to give you any sympathy.
Sometimes I go up there and I'm like, they're going to fucking hate me, and then they don't.
Yeah, well, I mean, people are people, and crowds are. Every crowd is different.
And crowds are crowds.
Crowds are crowds.
People, crowds
and
are crowds.
And this is a mic stand. I have way more fun performing for black audience, but also the interesting thing is I've had more white people come up to me after shows and be like, "You're not really mixed. It's just like your jokes, right?" I'm like, "Wait, you think I'm trying to get a scholarship?" I've never once had a black audience member come up to me and be like, "Oh, those are all jokes, man. None of that was real." Because they can usually tell like a minute or two in.
If you like what you are.
Yeah, because I'm just talking about
growing up and like, oh yeah.
Yeah, they can relate.
My dad hit me too.
It. Yeah. Well, any parents of any color can hit their child. Hi, I'm Troy.
Right. I was spanked, so.
Often?
Enough times where I remember it.
Yeah? By your mom or your dad?
My dad. I remember it. Like, and I've told jokes about it. You've heard my jokes better, right?
No. Tell me something.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, the joke is just that growing up, like I was spanked as a kid and my sister wasn't, and I was the youngest, so that didn't really make sense. And finally I asked my parents and they're like, "Oh, we'll tell you when you're older." And then finally I remembered and I was like, "So like why did I get spanked and Taylor didn't?" And they're like, "Oh, well, one time when we spanked her, she said, 'Spank me harder.' And after that we just couldn't do it anymore." I'm like, "Well, thanks for not giving me the pro tip, Taylor. I fucking got spanked for another like 4 years."
Yeah, you would have bought a whole gimp suit if that were the case.
The whole thing.
Or like, Tories repressed, continue to hit. The child is too horny for punishment.
So that was that joke. I haven't told that in a while, but
it's a
true story.
Out. Yeah. Mom never spanked you?
No. She didn't have enough hate in her.
Mine didn't either. She choked me one time.
Really?
But I was being a real asshole.
My mom, this is one of my favorite stories. I was really pissing her off, and she threw a bottle of deer repellent at me.
Deer repellent?
Deer, because we had like a bunch of deers in our backyard, and they kept eating her flowers. So she had this huge bottle. And one time, she just goes, "Shut the fuck up," and just rips it at me, and it explodes against the wall. Jesus. And she was just screaming like, "Fuck!" And me and my sister,
"My deer repellent!"
just took off. And we still bring that story up. It was epic. She was having a bad day. She was never like that. It was like the one time
she was having a bad day,
she lost her shit.
The deer were set free.
But it really
day.
was it made her life a lot worse. Like we just took off and she had to like clean up like deer poison. Like it was all over the kitchen.
Well, it was nice of you to stay there and help her out while she was doing it.
No, I probably deserved that one. But yeah.
I definitely think I've deserved every spanking I got.
Yeah.
Yeah. All hundreds of them.
Hundreds?
Lost count. Hundreds. Probably thousands.
Wow.
Yeah, I figure like one for every day.
Was it bare bottom? I would go. It would be a bare bottom spank so that it stung.
No.
I remember that.
No, I rarely. It was usually like with the belt or like with cords or like whatever was around. A couple of times with like bamboo sticks, like these things they used to train with swords.
Only your butt though?
No, legs and mostly like legs and like back of the leg and ass.
Wow.
Yeah. It was. Do
you ever talk to your parents about this now? Like, hey, remember when you hit me? And they're like, yeah, you needed it.
They remember it very differently.
Yeah?
Yeah. My mom never hit me.
Okay.
Really. Like I said, she choked me once, but parents remember it very differently. And I think they see it as like, I was doing it to help you. Because they're of the generation, I got hit as a kid and I turned out okay. No, you didn't.
Yeah, the whole passing traumas on thing.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. I think we're like one of the first generations like, oh, we could maybe stop this.
Someone commented on my post last night. You saw it about ranting about
Elvis?
on my Elvis thing and like the
I
problem
love the
with
way
our
you're
generation.
like, I'm not reading this,
Yeah.
but congrats
I
or
was like, it's
sorry.
too long,
I
man. I'm
loved
not
your
reading that.
response. It was really good. Did
But-
you actually read it?
No. I mean, I saw the buzzwords and I was like, I'm not reading this because I fucking hate when these guys say things. When
Do you know who it is?
Yeah,
Oh.
he's a comic. I hate when these people in older generations are like, here's the problem with your generation. My generation, we went to Vietnam. We had a house and we had kids and we had responsibilities and you guys aren't doing anything. Yeah, dog, because we're not brainwashed the same way you were. We understand. I'm not saying we got it all right. There's a lot of stuff that we have to work on. But you're not going to brainwash our generation into going to fight in a war for somebody else's profit. You're not going to brainwash into getting us into these debt cycles with a 30-year mortgage that we're never going to be able to afford. And you're not going to brainwash me into having little chlamydia demons running around with my last name because that's part of the American dream. No, like I was raised by the generation that should have been the ones to broke that. Probably would have done a lot to help us out. But they did it because their parents did it and their parents before them did it and their parents before them did it.
Right.
And I think our generation is the first one. There's a lot of good and bad that comes with having phones, but you have a lot of, you know what is in the world outside of the bubble around you. Like you can go and think for yourself and do things because they're decisions that you made on your own. I think that's why a lot of people don't go to school now, or they don't go to school after high school. They're not going on the traditional life paths because it's traditional for a reason.
Yeah.
Nobody, you don't need to do those things to be a person anymore. And I don't want, as someone who doesn't have my shit together, I don't want to be responsible for having a kid. Because that motherfucker is going to be on Facebook in like 10 years talking about the trauma I caused him. And I wish my parents honestly didn't have me.
You don't really
a lot of the
that.
time I'm like, why did you decide to have a kid when you had all of this mental illness that
Thank
you were
God
passing
you're
down?
here.
And I thank you.
Look at me being nice.
But we're back. Timestamp it. But I personally don't want to
Have kids?
Well, that's a given. But I don't want to have kids unless I'm ready. And a lot of people have kids when they're not ready because they don't believe in abortion or whatever. That's your problem, not mine. But I don't want to be a parent and cause
Trauma.
Yeah, it's for selfish reasons.
Totally. I mean, we all live for like, even if you do charity work, it's because you want to feel good. It's like a literal fact.
No, I do it as a tax write-off.
All right, whatever.
You
You know what I mean, though? You've heard that, where, like,
Yeah.
you never do anything nice. It's all just for your own well-being.
Yeah, what is the do good things happen? I think that's a very stupid way to look at things. And it's also very selfish too, because you should do good things like charity or whatever because they feel good doing them.
Yeah,
like you feel like you contributed positively to society, not like, oh, I'm going to give this homeless dude $20 so something good will happen to me down the line. No, give him $20 because you want him to go out and buy
crack.
Sure. Yeah. I was going to say shoes, but crack and shoe. Why not?
I'm a realist.
It's his
I'm
money
kidding.
now.
It's his money. He can
When
do
I
whatever
get
he
paid,
wants.
they never ask me,
You buy
what are you
beef
going to use it
jerky and
on?
Crocs.
I buy beef jerky and Crocs.
Bring a Quest
He
bar.
wants to buy crack and Pumas, all on him. Do I
Have
have
you
a
lost
Quest?
weight?
Does it look like I lost
You
weight?
just look
I'm just
like-
wearing an extra large
Oh,
shirt,
You look good.
2XL.
You
Thank
look-
you.
You know,
All right, ham it down a little bit.
you're so talented.
Well, now you're just
Beautiful.
telling me things that I know aren't true. But yeah, do we have a through line on this episode?
I feel like we covered on a lot. I feel
Yeah.
a lot of feelings. I have a lot of thoughts.
Yeah, I'm just tired of yeah,
What are you tired of?
a lot, but I never through line
What's the
for
meaning of all of this? What's the meaning of life?
to get money, get paid, baby.
That's why we're here.
I think the meaning of life is different for everybody else.
What's the meaning of your life?
Beef jerky and bitches. Listen, I try to live my life to be
Authentically
as non-douchey
silly.
as possible. So
You're not
if
a
I got to
douche.
be silly to not be douchey,
I think you're too true to yourself to be a douche, and I think when someone's a true douche, they're not being authentic.
yeah.
That's like the true douche theory.
What's
it's
up? I'm Chad, and I got some problems I'm working on.
Like, but,
here's my mask. Go Knicks. That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. That I'm too true to myself to be a douche.
That's actually I thought that was actually a little bit profound if I do give myself that credit, because I'm like, what even is being a douche? And it's like, people that are douchey, you're like, oh, you're just putting on this front.
Yeah.
And that's like, oh, they're a douche. It's unless they're just authentically a douche.
Yeah. Right. That's what most Avril Lavigne songs are about.
There's the caveat there.
Yeah. Complicated. Isn't that what that song is about?
Why'd you have to go make...
Chill out, what you yelling for? Lay back, it's all been done before. And if you could only... I'm trying to think.
Maybe you and me, somebody... Yeah.
Yeah.
Acting like...
Yeah, acting...
like
right,
a fool
yeah.
to me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. Why'd you have to go and... Yeah.
Because he's not being authentic.
Right. And that's why she left him for the skater boy.
Because he was being authentic.
Says, see you later, Bradley.
Nice. Look at that.
Circle that back around. Well, I don't think you're a douche either.
Thanks.
What's the female equivalent to douche?
A lady douche.
Lady douche.
I'm kidding.
I am Lady Douche.
That's actually...
I do decree someone must change me. Lady
that's
Douche
actually a good question.
of the kingdom of Sir Vixington.
What's a lady douche?
What's a lady douche?
A bitch? No. Douche.
No, I was going to say
what is the
bitch.
definition of douche?
Isn't it
just like...
Isn't it a female?
Yeah, it's a thing.
It's a thing.
That you use. I don't know. People don't even do it. It's
yeah,
like
I kept throwing out
like,
lady douche stuff, hoping you would tag in there. It fucks up
your pH balance.
Really?
It's a whole bad thing.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Lady douche.
A bitch.
No, because a douche isn't necessarily a mean person. It's just someone who like is a try hard in a sense.
Yeah, I don't know then.
This is tricky.
Well, that's our question we're posing to the followers
guys.
this week. What would a lady douche be?
What word?
I know you're listening, Lena Dunham, so you better write in.